Welcome to Scaffold. In the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly what to do after installing your theme, from setting up your brand identity to publishing your first page. And if you ever get stuck anywhere along the development process, full documentation is available at getscaffold.app/docs. So let's jump into it. So you've gone to the theme marketplace and you've downloaded Scaffold Lite as your theme. Now the first step we're going to do is set up your brand identity in your HubSpot settings. So what we're going to do is go to the left navigation here and go under content, and you see we have website pages, landing pages, and then all the way at the bottom we have brand. The reason we do this first is because the things like your logo and your brand colors and your fonts are going to update automatically across the theme when you add them here. So when you add your logo and your brand colors, all the modules, all the page sections, all the different page templates across the Scaffold Lite theme are automatically going to update to match the settings you put here. So it just makes it much easier for you to come out of the gate with a website that matches your brand guidelines and matches your brand exactly the way you want it. So first thing we're going to do is add a logo. So I'm just going to take a logo I have ready prepared here and drop it in here. This is for Terrier Digital, which is my web development agency that we use to build Scaffold. So I'm just going to put Terrier Digital LLC as the logo name. I'll do the same thing for the alt text. And then the URL I'm going to leave empty. So by leaving it empty is just going to go to your home page. Whatever it should, by leaving it empty. And if you want to just manually link your homepage, you could do that. But that's what you should have it as. So if anyone clicks on the URL or anyone clicks on your logo, it's just going to take you back to your homepage. So let's save that. The favicon, that's the little icon that shows up on your browser tab. So let's add that. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to say Terrier Digital LLC. Okay. Now colors. This is important because again, a lot of the button colors, a lot of the styling, accent colors, all that stuff are going to update automatically to your brand colors when you add your colors here. So I always recommend doing at least one primary and one secondary color. So here for my primary, I'm going to do this blue color. And then for my secondary, I'm going to do this orange color. And you could do accent colors. Just the way that Scaffold Lite is programmed right now, you won't really get any if you add accent colors here, it won't automatically update across the website or the template or the themes. Whereas whatever you update your primary and secondary color to here will automatically update across the whole theme if you update it here. So just something to keep in mind. And then finally, fonts. So here you have a body font, a heading font. So some people like to have two different texts for their body font, their heading font. They'll have something like a sans serif font for their body, and then something a little more stylized for their headings. For this example right now, I'm just going to use the same font for both. So I'm going to do Public Sans for body and Public Sans again for the primary heading font. Okay. And that's it for our brand settings. So now that we have that figured out, we're about to go jump into our next section, which is going over global theme styles. So let's jump over to that now. Okay, now let's take a look at your global styles. So I can hit edit, then edit again. And now it's going to open this, which shows all the global styles for this theme. And here you can really get a look, an idea of how large and robust this theme is. You have all these different settings you can adjust here, and you can actually see how those colors and logos and stuff like that I just talked about tie in. So you see we automatically have the logo here. Now it's set up over here, and then the colors we set up. The colors that we set up right here, you can see them on display right here. So if I go to global colors here, you'll see that they're linked to your brand kit right there. And then obviously we have the logo and the fonts and stuff. So if we go here to global fonts, you'll see this is the font we set up. And then if I were to change this to another font, let's see, like just do a dramatic one like impact, you'll see, boom, now all of the headings have that font, and it just makes the page look completely different. And if you ever make a change like that and you want to undo it, or say you're messing around, you're making a lot of changes and you're not sure, you just want to reset it, you can just click this little wheel here to reset it, and it'll bring it back to its default settings. One thing that's pretty cool here is we have these border sections, and you see how we have a lot of different rounded things here. So we have the different border radius sizes here: large, extra large, extra, extra large. But if you wanted to just click this box to make everything more squared off, you can check that box. And now, boom, now everything is squared off. See the buttons, this. So some people like that style. I actually personally like it sometimes too. I feel like for the past while now, everything has been so like rounded and polished that having kind of more of a squared off sharp edges on your website, I think looks cool these days. It's kind of like everything is cyclical. And then here you can see we just have a module that's a Scaffold Pro module here that you can check out if you want to see the benefits of upgrading to Pro. But that's about it for the global theme settings right now. It's one of those things that there's only so much I could do showing you on a screen recording, where the best way to kind of learn is for you to go in here and poke around yourself and mess around with it. So with that being said, what we're going to do next is we're going to go and create our first page. Okay, so now that we have looked at our brand identity and messed with some of the global theme settings, I think we're ready to build our first page. So let's jump into that. So you're going to go to your navigation here, content, and we're going to go to website pages. And if you don't have any pages set up yet, it should look something similar like this. We can click get started. And now we can see a preview of some of the website pages that come here on Scaffold Lite. So we have a few, we have an about page, a careers page, contact page, and we have a few different home pages here. So let's actually select one of these home pages. I think would be a good place to start. So let me just do this one, homepage SaaS 2. Okay, perfect. So here we have our page template set up, and you see all the filler default text we have here and the images and stuff like that. So let's take a look at just how you can quickly go in here and edit some of the content. So here we have our hero, and you see here we have a top badge, a heading, and a subheading, and then we have our button. So you can kind of see how it's mapped out right here. Top badge, heading, subheading. So to edit our heading, we're just gonna click this, and then we could say Terrier Digital is the best. Just, you know, something on there. The best web dev team. Let's see what will ever fit. Oh, so this is actually a good thing, so we can test this. So see how now I have Terrier Digital is the best web dev team ever. It's a little bit of a tongue twister, but you see this. So now what I'll do here is I'll actually go to my styles, and I'll go spacing and alignment, laptops and desktops. And I'll make the width a little bit wider here. And now see how it fits. So we can, this is how you can adjust the width of your thing. So very robust, very, and you see we have different sizes for everything. So we have laptops and desktops, tablets and smartphones. So you can adjust how wide you want things to be or how much spacing you want for things based on the different screen sizes, which is like very important if you want your website to be, you know, responsive and to look good. So many people are using their phones more than desktops these days, or even tablets. So you need to make sure that your website looks beautiful on every different screen size, and that's what we've tried to provide for you with all these different settings, without it being, you know, so many settings that your head spins. But anyway, so we have that. So that's simple enough. One little trick I'll show you too is, say you wanted to get rid of this, all you would have to do is just hit delete, and now it just disappears, and all the settings along with it will disappear. So there's no point of having settings for something that doesn't exist. So I'll go and bring that back. Now let's show you real quick how you can swap one of these images out here. So let's scroll. You see we have all these filler images spread out here, and let's just pick one. So let's do this one. We'll pick this. See, again, you're gonna have to kind of go in here and mess around and see how a lot of these things work, but this is the cards module. So you see we have card 1 and card 2. So let's click card 1, and we have this image, text, image again. So let's go to this top image, and let me swap that out. So we should have, okay, so we uploaded our logo in here. So now you can see that we have this image in our file system. So if I click this, and boom, that's the image updated. So it's as easy as that. I spent a ton of time trying to make this as intuitive as possible for every user out there. So it's very powerful, but very intuitive at the same time. And you'll see that as you go and start using it. And then let's actually show you how to add one new section here. So this is actually one of the major things that we're most proud of with Scaffold Lite. Is we added a ton of pre-built page sections in here for you to mess with. So if I go here and we go to add section, let me just go under here, add section. We have a ton of pre-built page sections for you here. So we have a bunch of different hero sections, and then we have some things that I actually call super sections, where here we have awards banners, right? But we have 4 variations in one section because there's a cap on how many sections we can have on here. So it didn't make sense to just have like one section for each one of these awards banners things. So we consolidated them into one to give the users as many options as possible. So you see some of these, whenever it says 4 variations, 2 variations, that's a super section that has more than one variation here. So split content. So let me go and select, there's actually a good, I'll do this one, split content. And what I'll do here is I'll get rid of these labels I have here. So I'm get rid of this one, get rid of this one, and then this last one. Okay, so we have this split content section, beautiful. And we have this under here. Actually, let me get rid of that too. Okay, perfect. So we have this. So you edit this, you go in here, you edit it the same way you edit everything else. You have your different text here, testing. Okay, so this is how you edit how you want. What's cool is, okay, so you saw how this had 5 variations for the split content. So if every time if you see that you're using this section a lot throughout your website, and why would you want to why would you want to copy it? Why would you want to drag the whole thing over every time and just remove 4 of the sections you're not using? Why would you want to have to do that every time? So what you could do is you can make your edits here, customize it the way you want, and then you can go here and save it as a new section. So let me just do split content edited, and then you could do my favorite part of the split content section. So now you can make your edits to this and you can save it. So now you have your own customized save section. So on top of having these sections that we all built that's already default for you, so now we have split content 5 variations. You could take your favorite one out of that and save it as its own section now. And now it's just gonna be that much easier for you to add it to different pages and use it. So that's something I'm really excited about. I feel like it's very useful for you guys as the end user. I'm thrilled that it's a feature that HubSpot has added to their web development platform here. And I think it's gonna be really, really useful for you guys. So with that being said, let's just go on to the next section, which is gonna show you how to preview this page and then publish it. So our page is almost ready to publish here, but before we publish anything, we'd like to preview it to make sure it looks good in the browser. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna just click on this preview button right here in the top corner. And this will actually show you on a few different screen sizes what it could look like. So right here is showing desktop, and it's a small, I wouldn't look at it fully as desktop. If you want to test it desktop, what I would recommend is actually clicking to open it in a new tab, and then you could see it fully expanded, what it looks like. I think that's the best way to really see what it looks like on a desktop. And then here you could see what it would look like on kind of, this is more so like a large tablet than a desktop. And then you could do a smaller tablet like this. See what it looks like. And then you can also look at it on a smartphone, like an iPhone or Android phone. You can see how it looks. So one of the things that was very important to us is to make sure this was fully responsive and built for performance. So it's I think you'll be happy with whenever you're testing and previewing it in the different screen sizes. I think you're gonna be happy with what you see. But yeah, it's always important to make sure it looks good on the different screen sizes before you publish. So now that we've done a quick preview and taken a look at everything, we're gonna get ready to publish it. So before we can publish, you can see we have this alert here where a page title is required. So we're just gonna do I'm just gonna do Scaffold demo. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do homepage Scaffold demo. And then you can do different things here, like a meta description. I would always add a meta description. For this example, I'm not going to, because it's just a quick example. You know, just give a quick sentence about what your website's about or what your homepage is about. And then I always like adding a featured image too. Again, for this example, I'm not going to do that. But that is basically it for now. So let's go and publish our page. And there you have it. The page is published. Okay. So I hope this video was useful as a quick start guide to get you on your feet and running fast with Scaffold Lite. Again, there's a ton of stuff in here. It's a very powerful theme. I made it as intuitive as I possibly could, while also having a lot of powerful features in there. So there's always a balance you have to strike there, and I hope we hit that balance as well as we like to think we did. If you want to see even more features and even more page templates, themes, powerful features, all that stuff, I would definitely recommend checking out Scaffold Pro. And if you have any questions, either Scaffold Pro or Scaffold Lite, if you're running into any issues, if you see any things you have questions about, you can always reach out to me personally at jacob@getscaffold.app, and I'm going to put a meeting link to my personal meeting link in the description of this video below, and you can see me there. So that's it for now. Talk to you later.